We know that Black history is American history, too often limited to tales of blood and struggle, and less portrayed in stories of joy. Colorado is particularly rich in this history, as evidenced by the many figures living in our state who embody the challenges and triumphs unique to Black people. High school student Joshua Ray had the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to sit down with one of the last known survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, Hughes Van Ellis. Not surprisingly, Joshua sought words of advice for young people like himself.
My name is Joshua Ray, and it is a pleasure meeting you and talking about all the things that you accomplished.
Okay.
Like I said, thank you, Mr. Hughes Van Ellis, also affectionately known as Uncle Red, for this opportunity. It is an honor to have this opportunity to interview you and learn more about your legacy. I understand that you have a nickname, Uncle Red, and I wanted to know why this nickname was given to you.
They tell me when I was a small kid, they said I had red hair, so my dad named it Red. So most of my brothers didn't even know my name the way up here. They always call me Red.
What are some things that you're passionate about?
I'm passionate about a good life. I like a good family, go out and sit down and talk. And I like to be around a family where sit down and discuss different ideas about life. I like to be around people, all people. I like all people. I don't hate nobody.
Mr. Ellis, can you please share a little bit about your birthplace and upbringing?
I was born in Holdenville, Oklahoma, 1921, January 11, 1921. And after that, we moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma. We moved to Tulsa, I was only 5 months old. That's when the drought broke out. So we were sharecroppers that time. We had came from Holdenville. And on the way we got out of town on a horse and a wagon buggy. We didn't have an automobile like a lot of other people did. We were sharecroppers. We'd go from town to town and city to city and work on farms, like planting cotton, picking cotton, stuff like that, hay. So that's what my dad did, we did. After that route, we moved to a place called Clamor, Oklahoma. And I grew up all over the state of Oklahoma. Sometimes we moved to Kansas, sometimes we moved back to Oklahoma, just different places.
There was a dark and tragic day in history of Tulsa known as the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. Can you tell us how old you were and what you remember about the horrific day?
I was only 5 or 6 months old. My sister Val was about 6 years old. Later in the years, she tried to tell me a little about it and told me that during that time, they heard shooting and going on as far as stuff, and they told us try to get out of town. They said it was burning and shooting and killing, dragging people in the streets. They said they'd go in the house, set the curtains afar. Back in then, wasn't no water. We didn't have any running water, so you had to get out of that house. See, we just barely got out of there. It was late at night, and we got out of there just when our sleeping clothes on. We didn't have time to put our clothes on. We just lucky to get out, late at night.
What was it like growing up in Tulsa during its time of prosperity?
Well, growing up in Tulsa, me being a few years after that, I used to go to Tulsa with my sister Viola in the 30s. And that was when I went back then, the Black Wall Street was doing pretty good, not as well as it was when it first started. So they had their own funeral home, they had their own hospitals, they had their own nurses, they had their own cab service. Back in then, They had their own tailor shops. The women had their hat shops. You could walk in and have a hat made, or walk in the lady and lay you up for a dress. The one that's done as well as they tell me when, before the massacre, but they did build some back.
What does the term Black Wall Street mean to you?
It means a whole lot to me. Just think, you come and build something, and then you get it destroyed. And it takes opportunity away from the people, like probably that wouldn't happen. I'd have had about a better opportunity in life, Right now, I don't think a lot of people don't trust. You build something, you might think it's gonna get destroyed, so quite a few black people have a little business, but not like it was Black Wall Street.
Can you explain the recent and significant court decisions regarding a lawsuit you and others have filed related to the Tulsa Race Massacre?
Well, last time we were in court, they want the case to continue, but the judge decided to throw it out, but it's been 6 months. Let's see, I was in June. It's been during a year now. And she decided to continue the case. The attorneys had enough evidence there to make her believe it. Justice be done.
What should justice look like from the descendants of the massacre?
Well, it's good. The descendants of they'll benefit from that. And young people will benefit from it. They'll know what history is. I think it would be a better world if everybody knew about history. And a lot of them don't know about no history. A lot of them have never heard of it, about the Wall Street Massacre. They never heard about it. And I think it'd be education to young people mostly.
What is your message to the United States concerning the Tulsa Race Massacre?
My message to the United States, we want justice. We want something did about it. We want something did about it right now. Let us have justice for everybody, not only just black people, but people. And I would think that would help our country. When something is done wrong, correct it. That's what I think.
What would you have to say to people that still are thinking that we should be separated in colors and cultures and things like that?
I think that's wrong. We all one America. We're supposed to be one America. That's what I think. I think it would be a better life. Just let me be in America like everybody else. That's the problem. We all one people. We all supposed to be one America. We built the United States for freedom of speech. We all human beings. That's what I think.
What would you like to say to people that are still affected by these events?
I would like to say this: you have to keep living. You're not going to forget it, but you have to keep living. And hope. Keep your hopes up. I think things going to get better. I hope this clears up. I hope this year clears it up.
What is your message to younger generations concerning the Tulsa Race Massacre?
Our message to them, I would like them to know about history. That was taken away from, they don't know anything about history. And my message, I hope it gets where in schools and books, and they'll learn more about history. We were taught not to say anything back in those days. Our parents tell us, don't talk about it. We weren't allowed to talk about it. See, a couple of years ago, my sister, she was mentioned to her grandson, my nephew Ike, and she mentioned about the route. And that's where this got started. They started working and digging up history on what had happened, when it happened, what happened, back in there. So my thing is that I like for young people to know. A lot of young people don't know about it. A lot of old people don't know about it. They never heard about it. So that's what I'm concerned about. Let people know about what happened back in there.
How does it make you feel that a lot of schools aren't talking about a lot of African American history?
When I was coming, like I said, older people say, don't talk about it. Let the young people know. See, young people got to keep on leading the world, so let them know what's happening. And I'm glad that I understand there's some books out on it. I've had a lot of interviews, so it's starting to get around. Some of them pretend they don't know, but they know. They don't want to talk about it. But it's out there. It's out there. So that's a good thing. So I call this year a good year.
What would you say to a young person like me who's about to set foot on their own path?
Be strong, believe in yourself. If you haven't got an education, go to school. Get an education. Good education. That's gonna help you through life. That's my suggestion.
To learn more about Mr. Ellis's story, which is still unfolding today, please visit justiceforgreenwood.org. To continue the growth and development of educational and community resources centering Black folks, we invite you to both support and plan to visit History Colorado's Black History and Cultural Heritage Department, the Blair Caldwell African American Research Library, the Black American West Museum and Heritage Center, and the Center for African and African American Studies on the CU Boulder campus.